With you on a Friday, the final Friday of home games for the St. Louis Cardinals in 2025. Ryan, it seems like we just started this like a couple weeks ago, and the season flew by.
It's
disappointing
crazy.
season has flown by.
Yeah.
One more week of regular season games after this in San Francisco and then Chicago, because the schedule makers thought it was a good move to have the Cardinals go Seattle, Milwaukee one weekend, and then 2 weekends later go San Francisco, Chicago.
Right. They weren't doing many favors.
Right. And instead of looking at that and going, hey, we could just keep them on the West Coast here and then give them a nice short road trip here.
Nah. Who wants to do that?
Right. Yeah. Just let's send them wherever. Ryan Fagan, Joe Roderick with you here at STL Sports Central. And this is Card Central 365, powered by Gray Bar. And one of the biggest storylines, which some people have been waiting all season for, that will take place next weekend. It's the end of the John Mozeliak era with the Cardinals. There will be some sort, I would imagine, of acknowledgement. Some are predicting first pitch, many different kinds of things for this weekend. But I thought today, you kind of have to sit here and look back at what he's accomplished over his 2 decades with the Cardinals. And this is the weekend to give him his flowers for what he's done with the Cardinals and the good that he's done with the Cardinals.
Yeah. And he definitely has. I remember a couple of years ago, my daughter was 4 years old, and we got into a particularly rainy spring, and she had heard the phrase March goes in like a lion or out like a lamb, and out like a lion, or in like a lamb and out like a lion.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought about that because that's kind of how Mozeliak was. He came in like a lion, kind of going out like a lamb. It's not, I'm sure, the final season or two that he would have wanted, he would have imagined. And I think that's really gone a long way towards souring folks on his entire tenure. And I get it, right? I mean, the Cardinals are in the situation they're in right now because of decisions that he's made. I mean, there are other factors in it, but they're there now largely because of things that he did. But on the whole, when you look at the things that he did, the way that he had for a decade plus a knack for accentuating what the team needed and going out and finding those pieces, whether it was veterans like, Carlos Beltran or Lance Berkman, or a good signing to kind of go. I mean, even Miles Mikolas, when he came here, he wasn't like somebody who was guaranteed to pitch. I think best case scenario, you said Miles Mikolas after that signing would be a mainstay in the Cardinals rotation for, what was it, 8 years now? That would have been seen as a great win. So yeah, he's done a lot of really good things. And I think, there are times to criticize, and we've done that. I mean, I've done that plenty this year, but yeah, there are times to look back and say, hey, I mean, they wouldn't have had this success that they did if John Mozeliak wasn't making some of the moves that he made.
Right. And I think, to his credit, I think in his own way that many of us in the media, and I think by now fans have also gotten used to, he's kind of, I think he has shown accountability for a lot of it. And
at times,
in his own way, he's also not going to admit mistakes that he made. But I think, to an extent, I think he does realize that, you know what, things could have ended better.
Yeah. I think when you look at kind of where they were on the precipice the last couple of years going either way. I mean, they had all this momentum in 22 with Pujols coming back and all the magic that was there. And I don't think anyone really expected it to fall off the way it did. And a lot of that was because some of the young players that they thought were going to step in and have a big role, which is kind of how they maintained all over all those years. But then when guys like Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman and company don't pan out even close to the way that they had hoped they would, all of a sudden this tightrope that they had walked for years kind of fell off a little bit. And I think that's kind of part of what happened.
And this is where we welcome you to chime in as well. Throw your comments at us.
I fully expect the comments to be
saying thank you. Come on, man. Thank you would have been appropriate 5 to 10 years ago. The last decade, he and ownership drive this franchise through the outhouse, and we're supposed to thank him for that. Again, we have a list of the accomplishments here in front of us that we will get to during the show. But to say appropriate 5 to 10 years ago, is also a disservice because you look back, as you mentioned, to the 2022 season, which was 3 seasons ago. 3 seasons ago when they go out and when you look back at it, when they signed Albert Pujols in March at spring training, and they went out there and they went and signed him. And again, like they had the team in place, they had everybody there for on the roster that we thought was going to be there. And then you go out and sign Albert Pujols, who by no means had any kind of good numbers in this last year. And I mean, to the point where a team released him the year before.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers used him as a left-handed, a specialist against lefties.
And he did a good job.
He did. And they were like, okay, we'll bring you back to the point where he was hitting second for you in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously, part of that is
not to mention, by the way, in that same playoffs, the 2 starters for those 2 games were also trade deadline acquisitions by Mo.
That's, I think, a bigger point.
Yeah.
Because Pujols coming back, it's not like he didn't want to come back and Mozeliak had to talk him into it, right? I mean, Pujols wanted to come back. He made that pretty clear, hinting at it before and then overtly saying it after he came back. So it was a matter of finding the right balance. And I think Mo was up front with him. It was like, this is what we have room for you. This is how you fit into the plans that we have. But yeah, to the fact that, Quintana and Montgomery and like the pitchers that he brought in, Quintana threw a fantastic game in the game against the Phillies, even though, it kind of went sour in the later couple innings. That's the kind of thing that for a long time he had a knack for doing. He was able to go out and find players that could bring value and assess the needs that they had. And, again, it didn't happen lately, but for a long time that worked out well.
It did. And you look back, before that, they did, it was a weird year in 2020, but they did make the postseason. After that, they go out and they trade for Nolan Arenado. In 19, they trade for Paul Goldschmidt. Like we can't sit here and shit on what the last 5 years looked like.
Yeah.
Because Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado didn't lead you to a World Series. And when you thought that's what you were getting with cornerstones at the corner infield spots, like they didn't account, like he went out there and made the move that at the time, every single Cardinal fan wanted you to go out there and make.
Yeah. And the players that he gave away, the trades that he made, it's not like those, we've talked about often about some of the players that have had a lot of success with other franchises, Sandy Alcantara, Zach Gallen, Randy Rosarena, Adolis Garcia. The list is long, but it wasn't Goldschmidt. It wasn't Arenado. And I think that's one of the things, if you look at Mozeliak's history of trading for big names, like big impact players, he's won those overwhelmingly.
Right.
And he hasn't had as much success with the middling trades, but I should say this, not Ozuna. Obviously, that was one of them that didn't work out.
But even the Ozuna one, again, this is a case where you go into that offseason. You go into that, between the 2017-2018 season.
Yeah.
And you needed power. You needed that big thumper in the middle of the order. And when you look back on it, the Cardinals wanted Christian Yelich. They wanted Christian Yelich from the Marlins. And the Marlins said, well, first they wanted Stanton from the Marlins.
Yeah.
And again, how much would we be ripping on him if he ended up making, if that version of Giancarlo Stanton came to the Cardinals instead of going to the Yankees?
It would have been fascinating. It would have, it certainly would have changed the tone.
What Giancarlo Stanton has become.
Yeah. Obviously he's had so many injury issues and he hasn't been able to, have you looked at his numbers this year though? He's been really, really good when he's been on the field.
Exactly. When he's on but they want, like, that's the thing, like they identified, okay, Yelich is the guy we need. We want to get Yelich. Yelich is the guy. And the Marlins like, no, we're not trading Yelich. It's like, okay, well, you settle for Ozuna. If you look back on it now, when they got Yelich for Alcantara, Gallen, and Sierra, like, are we looking at that a little differently? Are we that upset about it? I think the Brewers have missed the playoffs once.
Yeah.
Since they've acquired Christian Yelich.
Yeah, he's been, he's been better than anyone thought. And I think that's the contrast. And that's, I think, why Mozeliak takes a lot of criticism is because there are direct contrasts, right? When you look at what those players you mentioned, what they've done since they left St. Louis, and then you look at the fact that they got Ozuna, who was basically never as good again until he in St. Louis. Then he was really good in Atlanta.
And that's the thing too.
Yelich took that next step.
Ozuna didn't become good for the Braves until he was able to move to full-time DH, which was not an option when he was a Cardinal, because the full-time DH didn't come here until 22. I mean, it was here in 20, and 21 they made pitchers hit then for a year, and then 22. So yeah, Ozuna wasn't able to do that until he was able to DH every game.
It's still crazy that he won a Gold Glove,
right?
Which has nothing to do with anything, but it's crazy that it won a Gold Glove.
So it's again, like, you look back at some of those, and it's the matter of he did what fans wanted him to do.
Yeah.
Also, like, he's not just out there. It's not just out there taking some wild risk. For that, like, the team was in need of more power.
Yeah.
They went out there and got that. When they had Ozuna, they were in need of somebody to protect Ozuna. They went and got Goldschmidt.
Yep.
And they continued. He continued to improve the team. And again, when those moves initially, the players themselves, it was the execution of the players.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, and in the comments too, here you go, Ryan. I know you're on there as well. Wow, shows like this are part of the Cardinals' larger problem. No expectation to be good or great. I don't know where in the hell you're getting that from, what we're saying in all of this, because I am sitting here and talking about how all of these moves were made to better the team, to put them in a position that getting Albert Pujols and getting, in that year, Jordan Montgomery and Jose Quintana pushed you to a playoff spot. I don't know where you think I'm sitting here happy with mediocrity and losing. I am pissed off that I have to sit through another October of not watching them.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like, there's no arguing. Things have gone south lately, right? But I don't think anyone's saying, okay, that's okay. If that's the new normal, that's okay. No, I mean, it's quite clearly. I mean, it shows on, on here and elsewhere, and fans. Anytime you listen to fans talking, reading the comments here, I mean, look, fans here know what they're talking about, right? And they're not wrong.
I don't know. The comments today have me questioning that.
Sometimes
but okay,
perspective. Like, it's hard to, if you're not in the mindset to take a bigger picture look, and you're mad about the team where they are right now. I get it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're not going to want to take the step back because you're angry right now. You had this hope that maybe this year would somehow be magical, right? Because it showed signs of maybe being early.
Yeah.
And every time, I mean, how many times did we talk about, and you're like, are they in the wild card chase? Because it seemed like they were kind of always on that edge, and it didn't work out. And I mean, I get that it mattered. And like, when you look at things, I mean, to me, again, not that we're trying to point out the biggest the disappointments of Mozeliak, but like, you look at the Mike Schilt decision, right? And kind of the way that, the Cardinals finished phenomenally that season, had the big long winning streak, and all of a sudden, because of a clash of personalities, this manager who had a lot of success was jettisoned. And aside from 22, when the Pujols magic happened, things have been bad. Now, would they have been that bad if Mike Schilt had stayed? I'm probably not. But the fact that he was let go because of a conflict of personality, which is what it was, that's gonna paint a lot of the perceptions right now.
Yeah. It looks like Sir Smokes a lot sent like a 3-part comment in here, so I'm not going to throw it up on the screen. I'll just read it, and you in the comments can scroll and read that as well. Saying instead of Goldschmidt, they needed to add multiple bats, as in, he says, signing Bryce Harper that year. Like, I would have loved that. I would have loved them to sign Juan Soto, trade for Juan Soto a few years ago. Like, we also have to realize that was never, ever going to happen.
And that wasn't a Mozeliak thing, right? No. That was a DeWitt thing.
Right.
That was, I mean, that was the...
You don't think that John Mozeliak didn't go into the DeWitt's office and say, hey,
here's how we can make it work.
Like, right? If this Bryce Harper kid, he's a free agent, how much can I offer him?
Yeah.
And they told him, he's like, yeah, that's going to get it done. Like, I'll go trade for this Goldschmidt guy instead.
Yeah. I mean, and Gold, I know they didn't win the World Series with Goldschmidt, but I mean, he did win an MVP.
Yeah.
It's not like he fell off the face of the earth as soon as he got here, even though last year again wasn't his best.
Of all the moves that he made, is there one that you that you will look at as 1A top of the list?
The one that to me stands out, and it wasn't the biggest names, right? It wasn't the biggest contract impact, but it was the 2011 trade that with Toronto, the sent away Rasmus and brought back about 35 guys,
right?
That wound up playing a huge role in it. You know, Dotel was fantastic, Zimchitsky was fantastic, and all of these players that they got there. I mean, we talk about being able to assess the needs of a club, you know, and it's not just him. You know, in conversations, I'm sure that was in the Tony La Russa era. La Russa had a lot to do with that. Duncan had a lot to do with it. But that's a move to me that shows he was aware of what the club needed and identified it and went out. Because even if La Russa said we need a left-handed reliever, we need a right-handed strikeout guy, Tony La Russa wasn't going out and scouting other teams trying to say, okay, now go get these 3 guys, right? Go get those 4 guys. That's something that Mozeliak did. So when you look at his biggest wins, because of where they were when they made the trade, and trading Rasmus at the time was still a big deal because a ton of talent hadn't quite worked out, got value for him. And the way that those players contributed to going out and doing what they did, I mean, to me, that's probably right up there at the top of the list.
Yeah. Well, it was Octavio Dotel, Edwin Jackson.
Yeah.
Corey
Patterson. He didn't do much.
He was, I think he was on the World Series roster, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't as much of
Mark Zipchinski, part of that trade, which in the end, like if you look, Viva Alberto's has an article out there looking at every single one of his trades. Like you can look at everything that Mozeliak's done over the years. And it is kind of crazy to look at and see that over time, like the wins above replacement was -5 on that trade.
Yeah, but
it won you a World Series.
But you would trade that in a heartbeat.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's like the crazy part of this. As you look at some of these, and like they have it figured out that way. So like Goldschmidt was a loss in WAR. Was a 0.3 loss in WAR.
Yeah, I mean that's
that trade. But I think that also adds in what those players have done since they left here.
Right.
Yeah, like you're looking even deeper and further into that. I think one, just like look at the move. So I saw this the other day. I talked about this with Randy the other day when Contreras went on the IL, and we're looking at, okay, Contreras got 20 home runs. I remember sitting here with you and talked about it. The Cardinals going to have a 20 home run guy, and you're like, oh yeah, absolutely. They snuck in there at the deadline before they put Wilson Contreras on the IL.
Yeah.
Because Alec Burleson's next, and he needs 3 more in the next 9 games to get the 20.
He could get there. 2 more.
2 more?
He's at 18.
Okay. I thought the one the other day was
he's 17. At 18. Herrera's at 16.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's not a guarantee.
No, not by any stretch. No.
Contreras got there just at 20. And I going back and I'm looking.
I saw that thing you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going back and I'm looking at it. And did I tweet this out or did I? I
think I was watching. Yeah. Okay, I think it was short. Yeah.
1991 was the last time the Cardinals had somebody under 20 home runs. And as you go through there and you look at some of the names of guys, like you see Jed Jerko's name on there.
Yeah.
30 home runs.
Yeah.
They traded for Jed Jerko, and you look at this, you're like, who the hell is this guy? Like fans love John Jay.
Yeah.
Why would you trade him for Jed Jerko? Like, where the hell is this guy going to play? And then you see Jed Jerko, and you're like, really? Like, that's a baseball player? And, 2016, and he goes and hits 30 home runs.
Yeah. Not off topic, when you talked about Todd Zeile and that 91 team, of course, I had to go to Baseball Reference and look up everything. And went down a rabbit hole of Felix Jose's career, Ray Langford's career, Todd Zeile, and the player that he became, kind of this hired bat that jumped around. And I was like, man, I haven't thought about those guys in a long, long time. But yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. That was how it went. Hey, this weekend, if you don't feel like watching Cardinal games, there's going to be plenty of football on the TV. And for you in Missouri, get ready. The wait is almost over. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. New customers will get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. Download now, place a $5 bet when we go live on December 1st. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code STL Sports to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's code STL Sports in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. This weekend, do I put money on Cal Raleigh to homer again? Do we get him to 60 home runs?
Man,
a chance at 62 for Cal Raleigh.
He's still at 55, right?
Is he?
I think so. And Griffey's got the Mariners record at
59?
No, 56.
Okay.
Because his next one is, where's he at? No, he's at 56. He got it. He tied Griff.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about just amazing seasons. Like, I'm a big
60. You have to give him the MVP, right?
Well, with Judge falling down and getting hurt a little bit and falling off the pace that he was at. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just an incredible season. I mean, look, Cal Raleigh had kind of been this guy that outside of Seattle, nobody really paid any attention, even though he's a switch hitting home run who had hit, look at his numbers, 27, 30, and 34 home runs over the last 3 years. So it's not like, this isn't like a Brady Anderson thing where he's, popping a crazy number of home runs without any sort of precedent for it. But I mean, to do it the way that he has, and he's had, I mean, if you talk to Mariners fans, they'll tell you that the timing of a lot of his home runs have been massive too. This is not a situation where half the home runs have come with the game out of hand. He's really had some big moments in some of the biggest games, and the Mariners making their push, chasing down the Astros. I mean, when the Cardinals came to Seattle a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, the Mariners were struggling a little bit, right? I mean, they'd kind of fallen off the pace. They got better. They got healthy in Atlanta, which a lot of teams have done this year, and they came back and that homestand that included the Cardinals, and they've played really well since then. I mean, to the point that they've caught the Astros in that division. And yeah, I mean, I think when you're looking at MVP candidates, I'm not sure, and I'm a big Aaron Judge fan. I'm not sure how you can go away from. I'm
trying to look on DraftKings right now and see if they had any kind of futures bet on Cal Raleigh to reach what his final home run total was going to be, and you can't, and that's unfortunate. But they open up a series tonight against the Astros, 3-game series.
Yeah.
Winner of this series not only moves ahead in the standings, but if there's a tie, they guarantee to win the tiebreaker for the season.
Yeah.
The winner of the series wins the season series, and there's no more game 163. So this would be the tiebreaker between the Mariners and the Astros. I will say now, Cal Raleigh to homer twice tonight is plus 2,900. For him to homer twice tonight in Houston, in the tiny ballpark of Houston, as you just mentioned, big moments, big time at bats for Cal Raleigh. Plus 2,900. Be across the river here in about 35 minutes. So that's the big one this weekend. That's the series to kind of watch this weekend and see kind of playoff. We'll talk more playoff stuff next week on the show. And I need to do my research on the American League, because my National League, like I kind of have it down. Like I think I want to see how everything lays out.
Yeah.
With the standings and who's going to be playing who in the matchups before I kind of throw predictions out there for it. But I have thoughts on that. American League, I have absolutely no clue.
I mean, not to keep talking about the Mariners, but I mean, they've really put themselves in good position because when you look at like what wins in October, right? You got to have pitching. You got to have good pitching. And they've got Brian Wu. I mean, Bryce Miller coming back off the IL. I know his overall numbers aren't great, but he's the guy that can go out there. I mean, they've got a rotation. They've got with Rowley doing what he's done, and Julio Rodriguez has been better in the second half. I mean, they're not going to win games if every game's 9-7, but they're going to win a lot of 2-1, 3-1, 3-2 games in the postseason. And with the lack of, I'm sorry, I just don't believe in the Blue Jays coming out. I know they've got the best record in the AL. Yeah, but I mean, Seattle's in a position now where they're only, because the Tigers have struggled lately, right? They're tied with the Astros in the AL West, so they have, and head to head they have an opportunity to win that. They're only a game behind the Tigers for the number 2 playoff seed in the AL. So you get that, all of a sudden you go from the potentially the 5th seed in the wild card to the 2nd seed in the playoff bracket. That's a big difference because then you're guaranteeing home games. You've got the time to set up your rotation. It's like all of these benefits, and it's all right in front of him. It literally could not be a better situation for a team that 2 weeks ago was in trouble. Let's be honest.
We don't have to kid ourselves and talk up the Cardinals this weekend, going into a 3-game set against the Brewers. Sonny Gray versus the Miz tonight at Busch Stadium. What are you? Nothing's really kind of been released. I know there's been talk of what they might do for Mo. What would you like to see?
I mean, I would like what I would like to see and what I will see are probably two different things, right? I think when they bring him out, and they should bring him out, and they should even let him say a couple things, right? They're going to be boos. There absolutely are. I think when you look at the overall picture, there shouldn't be many boos. There will be, and the thing is he knows it too. He knows it. He knows what's going to happen, and he's going to do it anyway. And I guess credit to him for probably still going out there and listening to it. Cause I mean, overall, I mean, he's been good. He has made the franchise better for the larger part of his time in control. Right. Yeah. It is not ending well. And that is going to be, I'm sure, reflected in the way that he's received.
Hope they let him throw out the first pitch on Sunday. Hope they have a video montage of all of the great players that he has acquired over the times, and them doing things such as Matt Holliday, David Freese, show Pujols.
And that's the thing is they're gonna
show all those.
They're gonna show that, and fans are gonna watch that clip, and it's gonna be a long clip if they want to make it a long clip and think, oh yeah, because there's gonna be a lot of that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yep.
Right, because again, happened a long time ago. All these things, the change was necessary. Bloom is going to be a breath of fresh air for the franchise. All of that said, the list of players that he brought in that made the Cardinals better significantly without, in a lot of cases, giving up a ton of talent, the list is long, and it could make for a nice little highlight reel.
Yeah, I'll be on post game tonight for that one. Once the Cardinals and Brewers wrap up, I'm ready to be on post game tomorrow, Saturday night too.
Busy guy.
I'm just gonna be sitting there watching all kinds of sports and WrestlePalooza on
nice.
TV.
I think we're going to the Balloon Glow tonight in Forest Park, so I'll be paying attention to the game, but I won't be
tomorrow though in front of TVs watching college football.
Probably, for the most part. I've kind of put off like yard duty the last couple weeks, so
luckily, I mean, the Mizzou game doesn't start till 6. Illinois, Indiana doesn't start till 6. Cardinals don't start until 6. WrestlePalooza doesn't start until 6, so you can wait and watch all of those things. And just watch ESPN's production of it. I mean, it's the first one on ESPN. Take a look at it and see how it looks.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Just be a casual viewer and see how that goes.
We'll see. I'll be a casual social media checker on it. That's probably about as much as I'm going to do.
I cannot imagine how annoying social media must be for non-wrestling fans when there is a big time wrestling event.
No, see, for me, it's fun because I feel like I get a little bit of a taste of it without. But I can moderate how much I want to just close out things. So no, it's great. It gives me the exposure I want on my terms. It's fantastic.
He's Ryan Fagan. I'm Joe Roderick. I will talk to you later on tonight for the post-game show, but check out all of our content here on STL Sports Central, all of which is brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.